Hello, I'm David, and this is Machete Boys Barbecue. After last week's Coney Dog, I figured I'd come back at you guys with a burger this week. Let's get those grills fired up. The first thing we're gonna get started here are jalapenos. This is a really simple recipe that you could also use for onion. For this recipe, we're gonna take 6 to 8 medium-sized jalapenos, slice those babies down really thinly, smash a couple of cloves of garlic. We're gonna bring our pot in here, and then to our pot, we're gonna throw in 1 cup of water and 1 cup of distilled vinegar. Then you wanna throw in a tablespoon of kosher salt. So here's an important tip. When you're making pickled jalapenos, you can make these as spicy or you can make them a little mild. We're here in Minnesota, and sometimes ketchup can be too spicy, believe it or not. So I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of sugar here just to help mild out those jalapenos a little bit. But usually 2 tablespoons of sugar will do the trick if you can handle a little heat. Next thing we want to do is just throw our garlic in there. All right, so once this comes to a boil, we'll get our jalapenos in there. We'll boil our jalapenos in there for 10 minutes and then we'll transfer them to a jar, let them cool on the counter, and then put them in the fridge. In case you don't eat all of these little delicious bites today, you can keep them in your fridge for up to 2 months. All right, so I'm gonna mix up a little rub that's gonna complement the Wagyu beef nicely here. If you're following along here at home, you could really put anything in this that you like. But really all that you need is a little salt, pepper, and garlic. So we're gonna get started with 2 tablespoons of black pepper that I just ground a little earlier in my burr grinder. Next up, we're gonna throw down 2 teaspoons of salt, and we're gonna also add 1 teaspoon of Lowry's seasoned salt here. And lastly, just a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I like to get my rub mixes into a shaker so that I make sure I can get an even application on whatever I'm cooking that day. All right, so for today for the burger patties, we are making half-pound burger patties, and I am using Wagyu ground beef that's raised right here in Minnesota for my friends down at Rimley Custom Beef. Pro tip, when you're making burgers, no matter if you're using Wagyu or beef that you just found in the cooler at your local grocery store, make sure you don't overprocess it too much. Your heat breaks down those fats, and that's how you end up with hockey pucks. All right, so now that we've got our burgers pressed, it's time to get a little spice down on them. Today I'm cooking this at 250 degrees indirectly on my Weber kettle. So let's get our burgers on. And we're gonna leave our burgers on until they reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees today. We'll get back inside and then we'll mix up our onion rings while we're waiting, and our red pepper aioli. All right, so our burgers are on, our jalapenos are pickled. It's time to get the onion rings together. And if you've never made onion rings before, I'm gonna make it real simple for you. You just need 1 yellow onion, and you just wanna slice that into rings. But then you just gotta go ahead and just break them all apart here. So you wanna get yourself 3 dishes. But to the first pie pan, you wanna add 1 cup of flour, a pinch of black pepper, a little bit of salt, and the secret teaspoon of baking powder. In your second dish, it's 1 cup of milk and 1 egg. And in your third dish, we've got breadcrumbs. Begin by dredging your onions in flour and flipping those over. Give her a good shake, then drop them in your egg batter there. And then from your egg batter, we're going right into the breadcrumbs. And there you have it, your first onion ring. All right, and I'm just putting those on the rye rack. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these done and try not to get my wet hand mixed up with my dry hand. All right, so it's time to go ahead and warm up a little oil here for our onion rings, and I'm using peanut oil. I heated my peanut oil to 350 degrees here, and you just want to go ahead and get your onion rings in. Careful not to overcrowd the pan. Then at about 2 minutes, you want to go ahead and flip those over. There we have it, a perfect crispy onion ring, and you're just going to get those out onto a paper towel lined plate. All right, and while our onion rings are hot here, you want to make sure that you just hit them with a little bit of salt. Better still a taster. Oh man, those are awesome. All right, our burgers are looking dynamite. They've got some great color on them. Those spices are popping just a little bit. You can see some juice developing on the top there. Now is a great time to put some cheese down. We're gonna be shooting to finish these at about 160 degrees, 161 degrees. You can push them all the way to 165 if you like. But I'm just gonna get some cheese down on here for the last few minutes. We'll go back inside and build an aioli sauce. All right, roasted red pepper aioli, super simple. All you need is a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And here what I've done is I've chopped up 6 cloves of garlic I'm gonna add in there, and 4 ounces or 1/4 cup of roasted red pepper. And then you wanna squeeze about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in there. Gonna hit that with a little bit of salt and a little pinch of pepper. And I've got my immersion blender today, and that looks about right. Let's give her a taste and see how we did. That's bright, and it's got great flavor. That's good, I could drink this stuff. I better save a little bit for the burger, huh? let's build ourselves a burger. So I'm gonna begin by taking one of our toasted buns here and getting a healthy dose of that red pepper aioli sauce on there. And then get a couple of pickled jalapenos on here. All right, and then we're gonna add our burger bun there. And then a couple of onion rings on the top. And then a burger bun on top. There you have it. The Wagyu Cattleman's Burger. Onion ring, perfectly smoked burger patty, pickled jalapenos. You got that roasted red pepper sauce there. Doesn't that look delicious? I can't wait to get into this. You should go ahead and give it a try and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna grab a bite of this. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh man, that's good. Woo!